Hello lovelies, welcome back to my channel. It's been more than I hoped it would be since I posted my last video. Things in the world have been overwhelming lately, but yeah, I don't know what else to say about it right now. I've been pretty overwhelmed with world events lately and just general life because I'm moving in a month and I still haven't signed a lease. Just popping in here to say I filmed that clip like a month ago and I actually signed my lease today, and I am trying to finish editing this video after all this time from the floor of my almost completely empty apartment, and this is gonna be my last night here, so the next video will be a doll moving vlog, so look out for that. And sorry I took so long to post a video, but hopefully we'll get back into the regular schedule now. And Lucky is running over here. Hi, baby. Want to say a hi to the video? Okay, now he's walking away. But you'll see plenty of my cat on this channel. So anyway, back to the video. So I'm trying to figure out where I'm going next, what I'm doing, and all that. However, in this video, it is going to be whimsical, I guess could be the word, because I recently got back from a trip to Iowa City, and I was there for like a writing workshop, but I explored the area and I found a really cool toy store called Bartertown Toys and Collectibles. So that's what you're gonna see here first, and then you'll see a couple other places, and I'll pop in here to explain the next sections throughout the video. Now, one cool thing about this weekend that I was in Iowa City is that it was Iowa City Pride. So I got to be there for that, which was nice. There were lots of cool booths and nice people, and I got to see a little bit of the parade. There was one booth where someone was doing Pokemon tarot card readings, and I wanted to get my Pokemon cards read, but there was a line every time I went, and I did not want to wait because it was in the 90s and it was very, very hot. So I was wanting to move around and explore and then get back into the AC. But because it was Pride, all the stores nearby were pretty crowded, including the Bartertown store. So you'll see in the clips, I kind of move around the store quite a bit because it was like only one or two people could fit in an area. So if I was standing looking at a section wanting to film it, someone would come over and try to look at the same thing, and there wasn't enough room for like 2 or 3 people to be looking at the same thing. And like if you want to go past someone, it was like you'd have to squeeze past them. It was pretty awkward, and I was just spending a lot of time in there taking in everything because there's so much stuff, and it was really fascinating. But like, I don't know, that was one frustrating part of it, is how tight of a squeeze it was in there, and it was just awkward, but it was fine. It turned out fine. I was thinking maybe I should go a different day, not during Pride, because I knew it was going to be busy, but I was impatient and I went anyway, and I'm glad I did. So without further ado, here is the clips of Bartertown. So here's the sign that made me realize there was a toy store. So I went inside to check it out, and it looks really cool from the outside. They had this poster here that was advertising a show they're going to soon. They had some clearance bins with a bunch of plushies, and there's a lot of Barbies on display in the windows. I really liked this Dorothy one. I think she's so pretty, but she's also very expensive, which is going to be a theme throughout these clips. I kind of speed run through this clip of the Barbies because I don't really know what to say about them, but if you see anything that you're like, I can't believe they're selling that, let me know, because I don't know much about Barbie. And same goes for any of the other collectible stuff that you will see in these clips. There's a sign advertising the Pokemon Tarot Reader who was at Pride, and here's some clothes. They had signs saying that minors must have adult supervision in this store. And you just immediately walk in, and it's like walking into an I Spy book. There's so much to take in. It was very overwhelming, but also very exciting. Here's a $100 Mew plushie. And I kind of zoom in on other things that caught my eye. There's some Care Bears and a bunch of Lego figures. There's Rose Quartz, and there's Betty Boop. Very expensive. And just a lot of toys. a lot of toys. And it was cool to see like the mix of eras, like modern stuff and more vintage stuff. And those barns that I zoom in on, those are toys that I recognized from when I would go to my grandparents' house as a kid and play with the toys that they had. They definitely had a lot of toys from that era, and I believe they still have them at that house. There's some 5-cent breath pellets. There's just like the most random stuff. Here's a really cool area with a bunch of DVDs. I definitely want to collect DVDs and a bunch of VHSs eventually, but yeah. Here's some tin lunchboxes and a lot of video games and a bunch of video game consoles as well. They even had this graded 3DS Pokemon game. Here's a Trix thing randomly, and a Glee thing, and a High School Musical 3 thing. And they also had these Skylander figure things that I was going through. I was looking for Stealth Elf because that's who I would always play when I would go to my neighbor's house and play Skylanders with him. I would always pick Stealth Elf. She would say silent but deadly. And she was just so iconic. But I was getting discouraged because I could not find her in this bin. However, you'll see in a second here that I totally missed her. Because go back on the clip there. There she is. She was right there. And I didn't even realize it. But it's fine because I found her in this other section here. There were a couple of her, a few different designs, a few different prices. But for the time being, I decided to just put her back and keep exploring this store. So here's a bunch of like Care Bears and Sanrio stuff. And then here's the counter where you could purchase stuff. I'm not sure what those things were. There's a bunch of Pokemon packs. There is lots of cool Pokemon stuff. There is even that marble holder thing. I'm pretty sure that's what that is. And if anyone knows what these Pokemon figurines are, please let me know. I'm very curious about that. There's a ton of Pokemon cards. A bunch of them were graded and a lot of bulk as well. And then there was also other trading cards and just so much stuff. Some Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Here's the whole section with like Transformers, Star Wars, and there's Bumblebee, who is my favorite. There's a ton of comics and more Transformers. Just so much stuff. And then finally, the section I was looking for. My Little Ponies, the dolls, the Littlest Pet Shops. And yeah, there was just floor to ceiling toys everywhere. And so I was very excited to film that, but I was also kind of putting it off. So I was looking in the surrounding areas first to kind of save the best for last. And I found this Rothbart figure from the Swan Princess movies. And I was tempted, but I left him there for now. And then there were people who came over to the area, so I went to a different section. I randomly found this Berenstain Bears mother character with all the other like Star Wars stuff randomly. And then I was looking at more Pokemon stuff while there were people looking at the dolls, and then finally I could go back and start to film them again. But then people came over there again, so then I went to a different section. I found this Megan doll figure thing, which was cool, especially since the Megan 2 movie is coming out. And there's a Looney Tunes thing that was expensive. And then I found these VHSs, which was cool. This Pokemon one caught my eye. I'm not sure if I've seen this episode before. I've been slowly making my way through the Pokemon episodes that have been getting posted on YouTube. There was this Little Mermaid VHS, which I was tempted by, but it was kind of like a weird texture on the outside, probably just from time getting kind of warped, so I didn't get it. There was also The Little Mermaid 2, and then there was this Pokemon VHS, which I have seen that episode, and I'm not the biggest fan of that one specifically. And then I saw this Digimon VHS, and I was very, very tempted by this one. I have not seen this episode before, but I would watch a Digimon VHS or two a lot as a kid, so it's very nostalgic to me. And there was a Digimon thing as well that was very expensive, like $100. And it's hard to spot, but they even had a Digivice. Then I spotted these plastic coin things, and I was looking at how much they were. $3.99. Because I have some of those, and I was like, are they valuable? Okay, now I could finally get back to the dolls, because the people had walked away from the display case. So I started looking through these bins, still not looking in the actual case, because I was like saving the best for last. So I was looking again at the surrounding areas. So there's a bunch of trolls, and I believe these are bootleg My Little Ponies. And yeah, just kind of digging through the bins and seeing if I could find anything. This one, like, was confusing to me of how the limbs were, but I think it's because, like, the hair was blocking it, and I was, like, not fully seeing what it was supposed to be, how it was supposed to be posed. But anyway, there's a bunch more trolls, and then another My Little Pony thing, and then there was another bin with a bunch more trolls and this Madame Alexander doll, and more My Little Pony. Then there was this bin, and there was a bunch of stuff in it, including this mini Sky Dancers thing, which I was tempted by. I kind of regret it. I did not end up getting that. And then there was this thing that felt oddly nostalgic to me. It says Cabbage Patch Kids on it. I think it's like a Play-Doh mold or something, or maybe for the sandbox. Then this figure was very familiar to me. I think I must have had some of those. And then this was vaguely familiar. And then this was also vaguely familiar. So that stuff must have been from an era that I was kind of familiar with. Then there was these Luvlies, which I was tempted by, but they were too big for me to get, and I think they were missing stuff. Then there were these Umbrella Academy comics, which I was tempted by. They were $14.99 each. I think I was looking at those because people were buy the dolls again. So this very expensive Barbie Star Traveler van thing. And now I'm finally coming back to the dolls. And now, finally, I can look through the cases. So there seemed to be a lot of G1 My Little Pony, with some other random ones here and there from other generations. I'm not really interested in collecting G1 right now, but it's still really cool to see these in a store like this. Oh, there's the non-pony My Little Ponies, and some other high-value dolls being protected by the case here. And this was just an overall really cool experience for me because I've seen dolls here and there at, oh my gosh, there's a in-box Mycene doll. Anyway, I've been to like thrift stores and seen dolls here and there before, but I've never really been to a store like this where it's all dedicated to toys and collector items like this. So it was really cool. And there were a bunch of Bratz in there, and even the Rainbow High doll, and then there were these like Squishmallow Barbie movie looking things, and then there's very expensive thing. I don't know why it was that expensive. Someone please tell me. And then there were Toys R Us in-box Bratz, and more in-box Bratz. Oh my gosh, the prices, I can't. They're probably fair prices considering they're in-box Bratz, but still. And then I think those are, oh, I don't know what that doll is, but there are some of those strawberry shortcake things down there. And then more Bratz, and then the rest of the stuff is kind of blocked by all of these Princess Diana porcelain dolls. There were a bunch of those. And I was trying to zoom in and see what was over there. Looked like some more in-box stuff. Here, I try to get at a better angle. Yes, there was some in-box Bratz. Oh my gosh, the price. even an inbox boy Bratz doll. And then what's this pretty pets thing? Does anyone know? Please let me know in the comments. And of course, a Barbie cake pan, iconic. And then I kind of speed run through these dolls. I don't have much to say about them, but I still wanted to show you what was there. And then behind this Wicked doll, I was like, wait, is that what I think that is? It's the Mermaids playset for the Mermaids. And it's only like $40, which I feel like it was a very good price. I was very tempted by that, but I simply do not have room for it in my backpack, which is all I brought on this trip, so I could not bring it and fly it home. So yeah, I guess I'll check on eBay and see if the price of that was fair. And then here was a little area with a bunch of other dolls. Oh, and there was some like Barbie cars. And then there was like this Barbie porcelain collector doll thing, but I couldn't open it and see the doll inside. And then there was this Pop BB LOL OMG doll that totally fell out of the box. There she is. And I had to cut the camera to be able to use both hands to put her back together in there. And then there were some other collector dolls over there. And then there was this Shadow High doll from the costume ball. It was only like $30 in box, in really good condition. I feel like that's a really good price. I will check eBay for this as well, because I know at least the witch one is super expensive on eBay. So that one I wish I had room to get. Then there's this doll from the Queens. She's so pretty. I love her dress. And then there's Pop BB. I did not realize that these dolls came with like vinyls. I'm so curious what the songs are like on those. And then there's a dance OMG doll. I feel like this effect thing was kind of defective. Like I couldn't really see what it was doing. And then the doll is very pretty, but I was confused about what that screening thing was on the face. And then here's Honeylicious, and that doll, Spicy Babe. I was trying to open it. It was kind of hard to be able to see her in there, but there she is. And yeah, then there's that doll, and there's Royal Bee, and then there was this thing that was very dusty, and it was $99.99, and it says set 2 of 4. So someone please tell me what this is and why it's so expensive. And then I put it back by that Elvis doll over there. And then I was going back to finally look at the Monster High dolls. And then I'm still like, wait, I want to save that for last. So I was looking around at all the surroundings. There was even this Inbox G4 LPS set, which was pretty cool. And there were those Monster High Inbox. And then now we're finally to this case. There's some trolls and this doll making a funny face. And there's the Sky Dancer doll, which I was tempted by. And Inbox Erica from Princess and the Pauper, $400. Oh my god. And then there's lots of heart pink elephant Care Bear cousin, which I was tempted by because, you know, this channel is lots of love, kind of inspired by that character. And here are some Monster High dolls. I was very tempted by that Frankie, but I could not tell like what price she was, and also I feel like she wasn't in the best condition. And there's some other Monster High and LPS and other figure things. And this caddy was like, how much was it? $50? I feel like that's expensive, especially since that doll is pretty new. I feel like you can get her way cheaper on eBay, but I'll check on that. Then there were some Mermaids dolls, which are cute. Oh, and that LPS Tamagotchi thing. And for Mermaids, I'm more interested in getting the, like, Winter Waves line. That's my favorite line. I'm not really interested in the other ones, but I do really like it as a brand. I'm sad they're no more. Then there's some vintage Barbies and some Furbies, even some in box, but the boxes are totally destroyed. And then there was this like LPS pen, digital pen thing. And yeah, so that was pretty much that area. And I kind of start to show this other shelf here, but then people came over, so I moved. Oh, there's some Polly Pocket stuff. And oh, that's that LPS skateboard thing, that's $3.99. I have that. So like all this stuff I have, it seems to not be very valuable, just like $3.99. Anyway, so then I moved out of the way for some people and looked at some other stuff. Here was some LPS stuff and just some other things nearby. That doll was staring down at me. It was kind of creepy. And then there was that Barbie cardboard vintage house thing. There was some mini brands stuff and a bunch of books and also this Barbie car for like $50. And then I went back to that bin I was looking at earlier, and there was a pony thing. And then I was looking at the Pokemon cards, kind of zooming in on ones that caught my eye. And I don't know what I'm trying to look at there. Oh, there's that cute Sylveon and Eevee card. And Articuno, Ninetales. And yeah, I wanted to film way more of the Pokemon stuff, but it just felt so awkward because this is literally the counter where you check out. So the person was like sitting there, like kind of watching me film. It was pretty awkward. There's some Honolulu sets, and then a Polly Pocket backpack, a Bratz backpack, pretty iconic. And then there were also, oh, okay, I could go back to the case finally. And there was more Polly Pocket stuff and more Barbies. And why is that $150? Someone please tell me. And then more stuff over here, more My Little Pony stuff. And this very small Polly Pocket thing for $40. Again, someone tell me why it's that expensive. And there's Littlest Pet Shop set thing, and a Barbie car, and a Rugrats lunchbox, and yeah. Oh, there's some OMG things and a bunch of dolls in those plastic bag things. And I kind of looked through those. I think this is my last clip, or one of the last clips of this section. But overall, I really enjoyed going through this store and exploring it. I wish I had waited to go at a less busy time, but it was still very fun, and I wish I lived nearby there, or that there were places like this near where I live, because it was really cool, and I'm sure they kind of move stuff relatively quickly. There's probably stuff that stays there a long time, but there's so much stuff that's coming in and being sold. And, oh, there's that advent calendar for Littlest Pet Shop for $225. Wow. Anyway, I think that's it. Thanks for watching this section. All right, so wasn't that a cool store? I thought it was so cool. But I'm popping in here right now to explain the next section. So someone had suggested that I go to the Haunted Bookshop, which has cats. So I was like, a bookshop that has cats? I'm definitely gonna go. Now, I did not end up getting anything from there, but I still wanted to include the clips in this video because I think it's a really cool store. The people there were very kind. They do require you to wear masks, and the cats are very adorable. So here are those clips. Those cats so cute. Oh my gosh. these next clips that I'm gonna show are from a store that was just down the street from that Haunted Bookshop, like a couple blocks away. And it is called Artifacts, and it seems like a consignment shop. I don't know if that's the right word, like almost like a pawn shop, but I don't know. It just seemed like a thrift store, but specifically with like really cool stuff that I feel like I don't normally see at thrift stores. Anyway, it's kind of hard to describe, but I was drawn in because it was a cool store looking from the outside, but I also glimpsed some dolls through the window, and I was like, okay, so they have dolls, so I'm gonna go inside there later. So after I went to the bookshop, I then circled back and went to Artifacts, and here are those clips. Alright, so here is the toy section. There were some Barbies, there's a Midge, and Olympic skaters. That's a toy I recognized from my grandparents' house. Definitely all these Fisher-Price toys. Not every single one was from my childhood, but like I could tell they were the same brand, and some were. Like that dog I do recognize, and that clown looks very familiar. I'd never seen that bee though, and I thought that was cool. And then there was this poor boy doll that was totally falling apart. And then there was this bin of dolls. My phone had died, but I had my portable charger with me. So this is actually my second time going through the bin. So I don't go through it super thoroughly because there wasn't anything that really stood out. There was the Cowardly Lion. Here's a Raggedy Ann. I thought that dresser thing was pretty. There's this huge pile of dolls that seemed to be part plush. There were these Shira dolls that I was considering buying and reselling, but then I reminded myself I don't really want to be a reseller. And then there were these, I think they're Lil Woodsies, and they were very cute. And then there was this Beast figure. And then there was this Chrissy doll for $50. I opened it up and saw she basically had no clothes. I'm not interested in collecting Chrissy, but I still wanted to show these. There was another one for the same price that was actually a blonde Chrissy. I didn't know she had a blonde variant, and she actually had clothes. But yeah, those were the Chrissy dolls. I had asked a person who was working there, like, hey, do you have any modern fashion dolls? And she was like, I've never been asked that before, which shocked me. And then there were those Barney and Friends figures and a random pack of fashions and accessories. Then there was this Barbie live concert set that was very used for $35. And then there was this Trolls Lego set. And then there was this delicate looking vintage thing. I'm not sure what that was. And I couldn't tell what that was, but it looked cool. Then there was this kitchen set and a clear figure thing. And then there were these Madame Alexander dolls. This first one is like a ballerina, and then there was this other one that was $15, and it was a cute baker doll. Then there was this vintage box that had like a doctor play set in it. I recognized those blocks from my grandparents' house. Very nostalgic. There was this little fridge toy that was so cute. And then in this bin, there was a Transformers and Cabbage Patch figurines and Aladdin figurines. And surprisingly, Aladdin was less expensive than Jasmine's father. Then there was this cat version of Wooly Willy, which I didn't even know existed, so that was cool. And it was just $7. Then there were these cute mini dolls and this Power Rangers toothbrush where the Power Ranger actually moves. Then there was this boy doll and some Sesame Street toys. Those looked vaguely familiar to me. And then this circus set, I definitely played with that at my grandparents' house. And then that bucket in the middle of the screen, the clear bin, I swear I filmed me going through that. And there was even a doll that was like flat. You can kind of see its face peeking through the clear plastic there. But that clip disappeared from my phone. Don't know where it went. Hi, Lucky. But anyway, we're just gonna move on now to a montage of the rest of the store. So yeah, I really thought Artifacts was a cool store, and even though I didn't get anything there, I still had a lot of fun exploring the area. Now, after I went there, it was almost time for my flight to come back home, but I couldn't stop thinking of the Bartertown store, so I went back there and spent a little more time there, and I'm going to show those clips, and this time I actually did buy some things. So after that, I will show you my haul. When I got there, I immediately compared the $4.99 and $6.99 Stealth Elves and realized the $6.99 one actually looked more damaged than the $4.99 one. So, of course, I decided to go with the cheaper one. Then there were these Digimon figurines. I had to look up what this one was called because it looked familiar, but it's Ankylomon, which is a Digivolution of Armadillomon. So I haven't gotten to the point in the show where Ankylomon is, so I decided to just get the Pulsemon instead, which I am a lot more familiar with. I was wondering why the legs had fallen off, but I was just hoping that they would be able to reattach, so I decided to get that one. There was a Wally up there, and a Muppets figure, a bunch of mini Furbies, and there were also some Ben 10 toys. There was this cute kitty in my pocket set. Then there was this Ever After High doll that I hadn't noticed before, and this Barbie case. I can't even really see what that price was, it's so blurry. And this $50 inbox LOL Tweens doll. There was this Monster High tin that I was very tempted by. I kind of regret not getting that, actually. Like, it was just $10, but I don't know if I would have fit it in my bag, actually. Then there was this Wuzzles playset, some Mickey Mouse shaped bubbles, and there was even this Bratz bag that was so cute. It was $40, which I feel like is worth it. It's definitely used, but not super damaged. It seems like it's designed for storing your dolls and their accessories, and I was tempted, but I feel like I'm not currently into Bratz enough to justify getting that. Then there was this Annie limousine and this Barbie Dream Vet, a Barney clock, some G3 My Little Pony light brights for $4.99. I was very tempted by these, but decided not to get them. Some Harry Potter dolls, some Disney Doorables. Then there were these Pokemon books that seemed to be retellings of specific episodes. I decided not to get them, but I still like looking at the covers. I think it's fun to see the different media that comes out surrounding a specific form of media. There's like the card games, the video games, the show, the books. It's just cool to see all the different forms that it can take. There was also this Pokedex book from the X and Y era, and this black and white activity book. Some type of Hannah Montana video game, a troll, Barbie lunchbox, and this dino that I was not familiar with, but it looks like it's from Darwin Dinos. Then I went back and found the Rothbart figure and decided to get it. And I didn't get this one, but this Cinderella figure looked very familiar to me. Then there was this fairy doll. If you know what that is, let me know. And there was this Barney VHS, more Barney songs. And I looked at the song list, and most of them are not ones I remember from my childhood, so I decided not to get that one. There was also this Dora VHS, but I decided not to get it. But I did decide to get the Digimon VHS, and I'm very glad I did. And there was this box of LPS behind the register that hadn't been priced yet, and I asked if I could look through it, and they said yes, so I picked some out, and then I flew home. Right, so here is my haul from Bartertown. So I got Scalp Elf. Yeah, she was $4.99. I think she's so iconic, so nostalgic, and I'm glad I decided to get her. And I'll show all these things up close. I'll turn the camera around in a minute. Then I got this Digimon VHS for $14.99, and it's the episode The Birth of Guilmon. Yeah, I have not seen this episode before, and possibly not even any of the episodes from this part of the show. So I am excited to watch this. I don't have a VHS player, but I've been wanting to start a collection of VHS things for a while, so I'm excited to start that with this, as this is the first VHS not from my childhood that I have. And the ones from my childhood are not in my apartment, but I want to get them from my childhood home eventually, possibly for my next apartment that I'm moving to, that I don't know where it is yet. And I got this Digimon for $14.99. I'm so annoyed I can't remember the name of this one, so I'll insert a clip or a caption once I figure that out. Two of the limbs are not attached to the body, so I'm really hoping I'll be able to reattach them. Then I got Rothbart from Swan Lake movie, not the Barbie one, but the other one. And I loved that movie so much, and the second one, the third one was good too, but I feel like I always liked the first and second ones, and this Rothbart's from the first one, and I watched that movie so many times. It was so iconic, so I just had to get him. It says 1991. I don't know what this figure is from, like if it was from a fast food restaurant or what. It kind of seems like he was, but I don't know. And then I got these LPS. So there were a couple quick clips of me looking at LPS at the end of my time at the store, and that's because I saw there was a box of LPS and LPS like house things, and I asked the people working there, like, oh, did you just get those LPS? And they were like, yeah, we had them from storage or something, and we still need to price them out and put them out. And they let me look through them, and I picked these ones out, and yeah, so there's this beautiful blue fish. If I figure out the numbers for each of these, I will put them on the screen. I love the glitter. And then we have this cute cat, very adorable, and then this cute cat as well. Now, he had said upon looking them up that two of these were $12 and one was $10, but he let me get them for two of them at 10 and one at 8. I know that the fish was one of the more expensive ones. I can't remember which cat was more expensive, but yeah. And that is everything. So now I'll show them to you more up close. All right, here she is. I think she is so iconic. She was always the character I would play when I would play Skylanders with my neighbor. Oh my gosh, I love her so much. Oh! Let's see if I can reattach these. Oh, that's cool. It like moves around. I didn't realize I could do that. Okay. So, hopefully it'll just snap on here. Okay, I was able to get the arms on. I found it to be a little bit difficult, but yeah, I'm not even sure why they're detachable. I feel like they should just be able to stay on there. Maybe, I don't know, they're not very like articulate. You can't really move them around very well. But I like this figure. It does say it's from Bondi. So, yep. And these wings can move like that, which is pretty cool. Oh, okay. I was wondering, why is the tail like, you can barely even move it. You might as well just not have a point of articulation there. But now I'm realizing you can pull it to flap the wings. That's pretty cool. This is my first Digimon figurine. I did ask them if they had any Gatomon, and they did not, because Gatomon's my favorite, but I'm happy with this one. There was other Digimon stuff there, but I decided to just get this one this time. So, yep. You got the Digimon VHS, The Birth of Guilmon, or Guilmon, I'm not sure how to say it. If you want to pause to read that summary, you can, but oh, it's so cute. I love the Digimon designs. Like, look at how cute they are. So I'm excited to eventually watch this. I have been watching Digimon on and off, but it's like very slow. Like, it's been quite a while since I've watched it. So, and that's why I couldn't remember the name of this one. But yeah, I love Digimon so much. I had a few VHS tapes that I would watch a couple episodes on, so it's very nostalgic to me. So it was nice to finally have access to more than just the episodes I watched as a kid. I've watched the entire first part of the show, and then I'm like slowly making my way through the second part. I think it's called like Digimon Adventures. I've also been watching Pokemon on YouTube, and I'm falling quite behind on that as they've been posting on the Pokemon TV YouTube channel. But yeah, the thing is, like, these types of shows, like, I want to be able to watch all of them so I know what happens and I see the whole story arcs, but there's so many episodes that I'm like, oh, I want to watch them just passively and play them in the background or as I'm falling asleep. But then the thing is, I'll miss what's happening in the episode, and I don't want to miss that. So it just takes a very long time to go through these episodes, and I feel like I need to be in the mood to watch something wholesome. Sometimes I want to watch something more intense or more comedic or more musical, or like, you know, you just get in a different mood to watch a different genre. So it takes a long time for me to get through these types of shows, but I do love them a lot. So I'll watch this eventually, whether it's on streaming platforms or if I finally get a VHS player. Then we've got Rothbart. So this is one that I'm not getting for the aesthetic, but purely out of nostalgia. I love the Swan Lake Swan Princess movie so much, and yeah, not much more to say about him. There's what it says on the back if you're interested. It's kind of hard to read though. And then the LPS. So here is the fish. So beautiful. I love this mold and this color scheme and design and the glitter so much. Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize it had Sharpie on the bottom. That's a bit disappointing. I guess it has an A. Then we've got this cat. Very cute. Couple scuffs, but that's okay. I do not mind. And yeah, there's an A again. So I guess the person who owned these, their name probably started with A. What does that say? 2008. What's this one from? Is there any number on that one? Huh. Okay. And then here's the other kitty. So cute. I guess there's not an A on this one. And there's also not, is it like on the neck? I don't see any like copyright information or years or anything. Huh. If someone knows why that is, that some of them have the information on the bottom and some don't. Now I do love the iconic LPS letters that are on all of these. I love that. Is this one? Oh, it's a little faded there. That's okay. anyway, there's the LPS. They're so cute. And they came on a long adventure with me to come home. So yeah, that is the haul. But yeah, I'm really glad I decided to go back to Bartertown because it was such a cool store. I wanted to support them, and I'm glad I got some new trinkets. Next, I want to show you a clip of one of the airport stores that I was at. This was at the Chicago airport. So I took one flight from Iowa to Chicago and then from Chicago to Ohio. The Chicago airport had this cool store called Poloi, and it had a bunch of artists' work and fun things to buy. So I filmed a few clips in there. I didn't get anything, but I just thought I'd show you because I thought it was cool. So yeah, that was everything I wanted to show you today. I thought it was such a fun trip, and I'm glad that not only did I get to attend a writing workshop, but I also got to do some toy hunting that I wasn't sure would happen or not. So it was very fun. Again, I'm glad I went back to Bartertown and ended up getting these things. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Hopefully, actually, in a week after I post this video. I really want to be on track with my uploads. It's just been a very overwhelming time lately, and it's hard to feel motivated to do anything right now. So yeah, I hope everyone out there is doing okay. And if you're not doing okay, I hope things get better. We are in this together. It can feel very, very lonely, but we are the people, and I think building community is a very good way to strengthen ourselves in this difficult era. So yeah, if you are feeling lonely, I hope my videos can make you feel a little less alone. And if you've watched this far into the video, I really appreciate it. So yeah, thank you so much, and I'll see you next time. Love you lots.